Only recently, a 21-year-old undergraduate of the University of Lagos, Chidinma Ojukwu, allegedly killed the chief executive officer of Super TV, that's Usifo Ataga. The 300-level student of mass communication was arrested at her parents' residence in Yaba, Lagos State. The undergraduate was speaking at the Lagos State Police Command headquarters in Ikeja after being paraded by the State Commissioner of Police. Well, Arise News obtained this exclusive interview she had with the Punch newspapers.
I didn't plan on killing anybody or kill him. It was just to get money from him. I totally regretted everything I did. I'm 21 years old. In mass communication, I sometimes do ushering as part-time job. My father's ambition was to be actress and music. Separated when I was little. So I live with my uncle, Mr. Ikeja.
Okay, so you don't know what led to them separating?
No.
How old were you then?
I was 2 or 1, 2. Okay. Growing up, I stayed with my uncle.
Where is that?
At Moshe.
Moshe?
Yes. Smoking, that's me. But the picture, that's not me. Smoking started just few years ago.
Who introduced you to it?
Friends, just friends, old-time friends. We don't talk anymore.
When did you begin smoking, and was it before Unilag or after you got into Unilag?
To be after I got into Unilag.
All this issue of you, the ones girls, all these things.
I started after Unilag.
The deceased person.
We were just friends.
Okay, some people say they have evidence of you probably flying out with the deceased to celebrate your birthday or with other people, outside of the country. How true is this? Have you been going out before for birthday parties or for events?
No, I haven't. I've met with him like 4 or 5 times.
And also there is another statement that the disease does not take hard drugs and that he is a very strong man. How could you have overpowered him?
He takes drugs, he takes it, he takes smoke, he drinks. So it's not that I'm trying to put anything on anybody. I left in the daytime, wasn't at midnight. And when the incident happened, he couldn't speak. So I didn't take his clothes. I only took mine. I just took it and I took my dresses out.
People, after seeing the video of you narrating the incident, they said it is possible that you have killed before.
No, I haven't killed before. Well, I don't know the wife. I don't know the wife. Neither have I spoken to her before or anything.
Okay.
And for uncle, I don't know. No one threatened me not to pay school fees or do what I did. But my dad paid my school fees. The reason why I was absent in school was first was finance, and secondly, I was just feeling reluctant to go back to school. I wanted to do online schooling so that I can join it with my business when I start up my business. There are a lot of times that the school fees is not there. It has to be a struggle to complete. And after the incident happened, I withdrew the money. The purpose was to use it for my fees and start up a business for myself.
Can you describe your dad's reaction when the police came?
My dad was very heartbroken, bitter, and disappointed.
Was he resisting police arrest when they wanted to arrest you?
No, he wasn't resisting. He was trying to be sure that it's actually police people.
There's a particular information that after the incident happened, that immediately what you did was to call your uncle, and that you now organize people to come and clear the scene, because we are speaking from reliable information we gathered from a series of interviews and the likes.
No, I did not call any uncle to come clear anything. I left the place.
But is it true that you have told the owners of the building, the people who supply the place, that if anything happened, they should reach out to certain individuals, including your uncle?
No, I didn't say they should reach out to anybody, anything like that. No, I didn't plan on killing anybody or kill him. I didn't plan. I want to say that I'm sorry, Dad. I know everyone is disappointed at me. I don't know what came over me that I did what I did. But I hope God forgives me and everyone forgives me. Mr. Ataga family, I am deeply sorry for what I did. If I had my life back, I wouldn't do anything of such. I am deeply sorry. Please, I hope you forgive me. I don't want to die.
That was the exclusive interview courtesy of Punch of 21-year-old Chidinma Ojukwu, the mass communication undergraduate at the University of Lagos. Frank, this is quite heavy. As a defense lawyer, as a parent, as a humanist, what are your thoughts here?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the fact that, well, let's first of all acknowledge that it's heartbreaking to see a 21-year-old girl who ought to be in school speaking in such candid terms, you know, because you could see through her that she was quite plain, and she didn't have any reason to impress anybody or to sound defensive. But you see, it's a reflection of the current society that we are in. And I think that there will be a lot of extenuating considerations that will mitigate all of these ideas that she has committed the high crime of murder. I believe that in her case, we will begin to see the application of corrective justice in terms of saying that she's not outrightly charged for murder. Lagos State is a progressive state, and I trust the Attorney General. If you imagine that Shelvin could kill Floyd in broad daylight and only got 22 years because after a lot of arguments and all of that, you find that it is not yet over for this lady, considering that she could be, and you said that statement when she said that, I don't know what came over me. You know, so she could be under certain influence. A 21-year-old girl under the influence.
She did admit she was under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
She couldn't.
But
you like it or not.
But we saw that. I mean, we saw that.
You see, you also need to consider the current state of her mind now. If the young lady had smoked shisha or smoked whatever she had in the company of a man, and then we need to come to that point, and it's very important. Where this thing has been said oftentimes, when a lady tells you no, she means no. So, contrary to what the public thinks now, this girl has been violated by a man, and her reaction may have been disproportionate. It's a matter for the court to decide. So I don't think that it is, outright criminalization of what she has done. She probably would get some time for, if it is true that she did steal money and all of that. But I think if persons who are the actors who have been accused of child molestation have been defended by senior advocates of Nigeria, the women folk the educational community should rise up to protect this one, to say that this is an impressionable girl who could have been, who has fallen under so much kind of diverse societal influence.
Barrister TIETIE,
yes,
I can relate to what you're saying, but right now it's her word against someone who cannot speak for himself. The allegation of sexual assault, we don't have information if probably there's some sort of test being done on her to be sure that she was violated as to what she's claiming. But beyond all of this, there are other allegations going around out there. I would have loved to see a question about, you know, the fact that there's reports that there's more to the story. Even the family had actually released a statement via their attorneys. They are alleging that she had some other accomplices.
That's a possibility, and I'm highly disappointed that we are having a media trial of this nature and that our usual uncooperative police investigative team would allow this kind of media access to allow this girl to be talking in this form, to the extent that the public now takes the place of the jury and the judge down. So in that case, the public must also take a corollary responsibility in ensuring that their voices are heard, in ensuring that this girl gets justice. There should be full investigation, and that is actually a possibility.
It's not yet
Yeah,
over.
I mean, you're looking at correctional sentencing here, even if she's convicted, you know, which we really don't have in practical terms in this country. The name has changed to correctional services. But have we looked at the kind of influences that would have brought, you know, Chidinma to the situation that she found, or she finds herself now? She's talked about certain deprivations, not having enough money at schools and the rest, and going into substance use and the rest.
You know, the bottom line of this is just peer pressure, because deprivations ought to actually serve as motivations in many cases to young people. So the peer pressure and the overbearing influence of the modern slave queen culture that is, you know, pushed and perpetrated by the preponderance of the social media, that is what is responsible for all of these young girls being misdirected, misguided, especially when parental care is missing. However, when you talk about corrective justice, yes, there's a possibility. If you look at the Nigerian Corrective Center Act, there are provisions for parole. I mean, I look forward to whatever the conviction is, this girl be given some kind of corrective justice to the extent that she be granted parole to get her life back and take on a
So
course.
how is that justice for the family who have actually lost their breadwinner?
I don't want you to go there.
How can a man of that
caliber, with all of that money, with all of that access, decide to take an impressionable girl and lead in that direction? Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the overbearing influence of men who have so much money, who tempt and actually give a tantalizing call to all of these girls in the universities. Nobody's addressing that. That man, if I had my way to do some some law reform, some persons should actually be punished posthumously and then their estates be charged. I believe so, because you cannot, lead this girl in this direction and then provoke her to the point where she said, I wasn't going to have sex, but you were going to force her, and then under a certain influence, she responded by stabbing you. I don't want us to look at it only from the area of the girl now because she's alive and the guy is dead. That man had some level of responsibility which he failed at because of his age and his status in life as a very wealthy man.
Is it appropriate, we hear that the University of Lagos management are considering suspending, expelling her?
I doubt that a progressive university like the University of Lagos would do such a thing. What I expect from the University of Lagos is to rise up and come to the rescue of one of its own, to see how they can give her counseling services and make her see that this is not the end, it's not over. We don't want a situation of people dying of suicide or doing one thing or the other. And then also ensuring that she gets the best of legal support and counsel. So that's what the university, a progressive and modern university, should do. Who is trying to act the holier than thou script here? The university can't do that. I don't expect the University of Lagos to do that. One of the most progressive universities in Nigeria, and I'd expect something more than that.
Barrister Frank TIETIE, of course, this is just the beginning. I know that there will be a trial, and eventually I'm sure we'll have more conversations concerning this unfortunate incident. But we'd have to say thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.